Hi, everyone, and welcome to the weekly Tarot Bite reading for the sign of Cancer. Now, this is for July 10th through the 16th. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. I am Lauren. Hi, and welcome. So this is a quick, about a 10-minute read for the week ahead, and we are taking a look at the themes that came up in the general collective reading, which was posted on Sunday, if you'd like to view that. Now, we had two cards that came out. We had TikTok and we had the 10 of Pentacles. And really what this was bringing up was our long-term vision for our future, kind of legacy building, the grand dream we want to anchor from our mind and our emotional space and into the physical. But also taking a look at, can we have trust and faith that this will come to pass, and to not give up on a dream based off of our frustration around time or wanting it to manifest now. And can we continue to hold this vision and kind of merge our future vision of ourselves with our present and how we're choosing to take action? Now, Cancer, I'm going to pull some clarifiers now for these cards because we're going to dive a little deeper into what this means specifically for you this week. I hope you're all having a great start to your week. I know I'm looking forward to going on a nice trip with friends at the end of it, so it's going to be kind of a short, busy, but then end on a good note. Fun week ahead. So let's see. I'm going to first pull some cards here for TikTok. So we're going to see what you're dealing with here as far as maybe frustration around something not manifesting fast enough. Or just in your experience of time in relation to realizing a future vision for yourself. So we have 7 of Cups and 8 of Cups, which is interesting. So the 8 of Cups came out first, followed by the 7 of Cups. The 8 of Cups really speaks to getting to that place on an emotional level where we realize there's something that, even though we might have put a lot of emotional investment into in the past or up to this point, it is no longer emotionally supportive or satisfying for ourselves. And so there's this point where we have to kind of almost cut our losses and walk away. Now with the 7 of Cups, the 7 of Cups speaks to opportunity. It can speak to us kind of looking out into the greater world and seeing that there are many other options out there that may be just as fulfilling, just as supportive, but it can also be an illusionary energy, if I can say that correctly. One where we get a little lost in the what if. Well, what if I choose something and it actually, that option is better for me? It's almost like that feeling of, what if I choose unwisely and then I'm stuck with something that is, again, not emotionally fulfilling. And there's an element here of really cutting. You can cut through both of these very easily to say, like, should I cut and run, or should I continue to invest? Or what if I choose unwisely and there's so many options? If I'm going to leave where I am now, then what am I actually going to walk towards? And there's a feeling here of really getting clear that there's an understanding that we have our own cup. The reason why this can, like, you can see this individual, he looks almost like he's being tortured by all these options. It's because he's not realizing that ultimately we hold our own cup. It isn't, and we pour into our life from that cup, meaning that cup is a representation of our soul, our spiritual self. It is our unique needs, our unique dreams that we must follow, our unique anything in our life experience that we feel connects us on an emotional level to that experience and therein to our spiritual self or the soul. And it's a reminder that from that cup, we pour ourself into our life experience. So if you're finding that there's something in your life that you've been pouring your emotional self into, and yet there is no return on that investment, meaning it's not meeting your needs, it's not helping you pursue a dream or get closer to that, or it's not even emotionally connecting you to anything, meaning that it's not a positive emotional connection, then that's really going to help you realize that, yes, there's a world of options out there, but ultimately it's a world of options of what you get to pour your cup into, not looking for something outside of yourself to pour into your cup, if that makes sense. It's looking at your cup as always full. So it's saying, if I've been pouring and pouring and pouring in something and it is not honoring what I've been pouring from myself into it, meaning it's not meeting my needs, it's not bringing about a dream for myself, then where can I turn with full faith and understanding there's a greater world out there for me to experience on an emotional level? And where can I start to openly pour my needs into life and really start to see a return on that investment, and doing so with faith? And the Eight of Cups does speak a lot to me as far as leveling up from the Eight of Cups to the 10 of Cups, meaning we understand that in between the 8 and the 10 is a 2 of Cups. It's authentic connection. It's equal partnership. It's us realizing that life really isn't worth much if we don't have others to connect it with. So there could be something in that as well, that there's a realization that maybe there needs to be a focus on connection to kind of get you to that next level. And maybe that's where you've been sitting with this little bit of this emotional discontent, is maybe you're sitting by yourself and it's time to connect yourself with others. But getting to that point of maybe where you might be worrying, I've put so much time and effort into this, I can't just walk away from it now. No, hold true to what the 10 of Pentacles is for you. And when I talk about the 10 of Pentacles, this is the legacy we want to build towards. This is kind of the ultimate physical manifestation of all of our work on the journey that is our life. And if something currently isn't, this could be similar to somebody who says, gosh, but I put in 20 years into this relationship and I can't just walk away now and start from scratch. And then I have to date, and then I might have to date for 3 years before we get married. And it's one of those things where you talk yourself out of the dream. If the individual you're with now, after 20 years, has not been emotionally supportive, and the future vision for yourself is that this person can't come with you because maybe you've matured on different levels, then there's a realization of holding true to your dream and the vision of your future self, which came out very strongly in the collective. And honoring that by understanding, by having faith and trust, also two themes that came up very strongly, or another theme. Having trust that, again, what is there for you and the vision that you have for yourself merging right now in the present is kind of urging you to make this change, urging you to leave something behind, to start to move towards whatever this is for yourself, the dream. And know that, again, it might take another 5 years to manifest. It was interesting. I was talking with my husband about this, just kind of reflecting on my whole life over the past specifically 10 years. And when I think about it, I left a long-term relationship 8 years ago now. And at that time, I felt like, oh my gosh, I've invested so much. I don't even know who I am without this other person in my life. And I was kind of, I was in my mid-30s. And so I was getting to that point where, I might not be able to meet someone in time to be able to get to that wonderful relationship and end up being able to have a child and the future vision I saw for myself. But I had to trust that where I was and who I was with was not supportive of me. And so I made that choice and just I didn't have a time frame. I left it up to faith and trust in the divinity of what I saw and what I felt. And yeah, it took 8 years to get to where I am today. Now, granted, this is not a stopping point for myself, but it is the realization that in 8 years, if I would have said back to myself at that time, yeah, it'll take you 8 years to get to all the things you're hoping for now, I would be like, oh my God, 8 years. Like, that might never happen. We can look at that and say, oh my God, that's so long, or that's going to take so much work. But once you get into it, you're just living. And it's far easier to live when you're free of this kind of feeling, when you're free of someone, when it feels like you're emotionally draining yourself, when you pull yourself out of that, even if it takes you 5 or 10 years to get to the next stage that you really want to get to, that next cycle will feel much more freer. It'll feel more emotionally connected because you're not just giving away your emotional self. All right, so I'm going to just pull a couple cards here before we end the reading to really dive into the Ten of Pentacles. So what is this dream, this legacy, this big grand future vision for yourself that's coming in here? What does Cancer need to know about the Ten of Pentacles? All right, we have the Prince of Swords. Now, Prince of Swords is technically the Knight of Swords in this deck. And so this says speak. Share, Cancer. Speak what this Ten of Pentacles is. Start to take action in a very verbal or communicative way. So however you communicate, communication is not always verbal. Communication can be you writing it down. It can be you posting something on social media. It can be even dancing, any type of form of communication that is authentic to you. There's something here about speaking this out loud. Speaking it and sharing it, and the Knights move things forward. So this communication is meant to share this vision. And somehow I feel like in sharing this vision and in speaking it out loud or in living it out loud in some way, that it's going to kind of nail down, this is it. And it's going to really show you, I think, too, that if you're sharing this with other people in your life and they don't support it, well, then this is that kind of that aha wake up week where you realize, oh my gosh, I do have to walk away from this. Or maybe the other people you're sharing it with might say, well, then if that's really what you want, then maybe it's time to, leave the job that is no longer fulfilling, and it's time to start to make that transition if that's what you really want. It's almost like when you speak it, it's almost like you're reorganizing the universe to align with your future self. And it's also making that commitment, saying, this is what I want. This is who I am. This is the future vision of myself. And now I have to commit to it. You're holding yourself accountable. All right, I'm going to leave it there, Cancer. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead, communicating the dream and really leaning into the trust that what this dream is waiting for you, if you have the courage to walk away from something and embrace the new, but coming from that emotional place of what's going to meet your needs in this next cycle. What is that dream that you want to chase? All right, if you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. The full July tarot scope for each sign is up on my website. Is up on my channel if you'd like to view each one of those videos. And if I don't see you this week, I will see you next week for the next Tarot Bite readings, and then later in the month I'll be releasing the August full tarot scopes for each sign. All right, bye, Cancer.